Good morning, friend. I have had questions from people asking normal questions like, do they just keep feeling like what they want has happened already in the 3D? And then just go about their business, or they keep reaffirming it, or, what have you. Look, the observable what is isn't going to change until you change what you're giving yourself in your inner world. Your outer world cannot change to match or even come close to matching what you give to yourself in your inner world. And it's been my own personal experience that until I know what I want to give myself in my inner world, the outer world persists. It persists. Now, I have plenty of challenges. I have plenty of opportunities to be aggravated and frustrated and angry and upset. And, any negative feeling you can conjure up, I have plenty of opportunity to join that. And sometimes I do. And why? Because I'm a human being. So when things happen to not be lining up in my outer world, that is exactly the time for me to feel my feels and then get back to what it is that I want to give myself in my inner world, because it takes time. Look, I homestead off-grid with a man who has Asperger's, high-functioning Asperger's. He is incredibly resistant in all different kinds of ways to me, to all kinds of things. And that doesn't make up the whole totality of him. He also brings a lot to the table that's beautiful and wonderful and things that I love. Okay? I am the same way. I am not a perfect person in the outer world. And there are things that I don't react to or respond to as kindly or as lovingly as I would like to. And this is why, because when frustrations build up from your observable what is in the outer world, if you don't tend to those things, okay. So, for instance, we have 13 goats. And they're not fenced in. And they like being around people. So as a result, you see my walk path? This is my walk path to my cabin. And it is literally covered in goat shit. Do I want that in my experience? No. I don't enjoy it. It doesn't please me. I don't like having my bottoms of my shoes covered in goat shit. I don't like dragging goat shit into my house where it's all over my floors. I can sweep, and I do multiple times a day. I could go on and on about the things that I personally have to give myself space and grace about, because until there's money for the fencing, not a lot we can do about it. We won't get rid of the goats because my husband doesn't want to. So instead of, and I've already gone through all the emotions, being angry literally does not help. Frustrated, all of those things. They don't help. So what I have to do is give myself what I want in my inner world. And that is a feeling that the goats are contained, that everything is the way I want it to be. And then I have to stop worrying about when the hell that's going to actually happen in my outer world. Because I don't know when it will happen. It could be a month from now. Something unexpected could happen and we'd have the money for the fencing. Just about that. I just simply, in my current outer world of Caesarness, I don't have it. So, I have to find things that I can focus on anything that feels better to me. And importantly, do not bring stress and anxiety to my partner who cannot. He can't process it. He can't. Because all that does when I bring it to his attention to see what we can do about it, we just fight. We fight. And guess what? That doesn't help me feel better. It sure as hell doesn't help him feel better. And it's an extra added stress in our relationship. And the last 5 years have been stressful enough. Like, I'm not looking to add stress. I'm looking to minimize stress in any way possible. Yes, it's frustrating. Yes, I get tired of fucking goat shit everywhere and dealing with shit that feels like it's out of my control. But then I listen to Edward Art videos and I take notes in centeredness with myself, and I think about what it is that I can do. I don't have a bunch of I'm not living a perfect life. Nobody there's not one single person I know personally who is perfect, who is perfectly happy, who is living a perfect life, who has a life without any issues, who has a life where they don't have any problems. All I know is that when you look around, beauty is everywhere if you take the time to focus on it and let that other shit go. And you let it go by focusing on what you are grateful for, what you appreciate, what you love. And then you just dig deep into that. And you go into your inner world and you give yourself what you want. And you give it to yourself in a way that feels perfect to you, exactly the way you want it. And you don't make any compromises. You don't have to in your inner world. So in my inner world, the goats are contained. They're not all up in my personal space. They're not climbing all over everything in my personal area. That's what I give to myself in my inner. And then I have to absolutely stop thinking about. I have to stop worrying about what they're doing and the reality of the observable what is. Because that only makes me feel a lot of feelings that I don't want to be dwelling in and soaking in. I have to give myself what I want on the inner. I have to step back and let it go. If I didn't, I would be pissed and angry all the time. And that's no way to be. That's not going to help. It's not going to help you. So my internet keeps going in and out. So if this video is a little wonky in spaces, that's why. It's where my video cuts out and it's waiting for internet to come back. So I'm going to wrap this up. give yourself exactly what you want and how you envision you will feel better. Give that to yourself in your inner world, because there's no one and nothing stopping you from doing that except you. And then in the outer world, quit obsessing about every freaking thing that is pissing you off, upsetting you, hurting you. Any of the things that are negative feelings that just make you feel like crap. Because that's not how to change the outer world. The outer world will change. It must change. It will merge into what you want or better. I don't know how. It doesn't matter. That's divine timing. That's up to divine behind the scenes stuff that I don't need to do. I don't need to push, plan, prod, figure it out, be strategic. I don't have to have a clue how to make these things happen, because something will reveal itself to me as the next natural step to take, and then I'll take that step because it'll feel right, and that's all I have to do. So, friend, listen, don't stress about stuff. Let it go. Just give yourself exactly what you're wanting, and believe, trust, and feel confident that the universe, that source, that I am, absolutely knows what to do to get you to that merging reality experience. If you can just do that, if you can just practice that more than not, things will begin to happen that you can't explain, that you don't need to know how it happens. You just have to do your part, and your part is to give yourself what you want and change I am inside. It's the only place you have control, friend. It's where all the juicy power is that you have to create a life that you want to live. It sounds so simple, and it is simple if you can just get out of your own way. Stop blaming, shaming, guilting, condemning, judging. You just got to stop doing that shit, because it's not going to help you. You can't go pointing your finger at anyone else and saying, this is your fault. So let all that go. You cannot change I am with anger and frustration, because that will be what you're giving to yourself, and yourself, I am, is gonna it's gonna give it back to you, because that's what you're giving to it. You see how this is a perfect practice for understanding your own beautiful beingness and the power with focus and intention. That's how you learn to mold I am into what it is that you want it to be. Give it the freedom to be beautiful and bless you every day by blessing yourself. Bless I am with what you want, and give it to I am, and let I am shape and mold that into beingness for you in your outer world. That's how it happens. That's how it works. That's the best way I have to explain it. You're gonna have days where you are absolutely pissed off about something, or you're hurt, or you're having massive feels. My baby boy, who's 18, like he's going off into the world and on his own life adventure. I'm an empty nester now. It's just me and my husband. And I have a lot of feels. And I'm so happy, because I want him to be so happy. And he's supposed to go out into the world, and I've never not wanted him to. But this is what I'm saying. Things in life are going to constantly come up. And that's okay. But you just have to roll with the stuff and know that you can do this. You can give yourself what you want, and you can still feel your feelings, and you can feel it all. The good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. But don't go blaming anything in the outer world as to what you're giving to yourself, because that won't fix anything. It'll just make you miserable, friend. And that's not what this channel is about. This is the art of beingness. Beingness is literally finding your way, finding your balance, and giving yourself what you want on the inner. You can do it, friend. If I can do it, you can too. Just give it a shot. What have you got to lose?